Over the past couple of days, we've had some fairly rainy weather, and so we're having to put on our rain boots and our waders and kind of ease our way back toward Farpoint Studio. But while we're on our way there, it would be something to think about as we're contemplating the last episode of Star Trek Discovery. In what was supposed to be just a season finale, it becomes the finale of the whole series, and they got permission to tack on an extra 30 minutes in order to be able to tie up some loose ends. And whether they do that or not is kind of up to you. However, I think maybe we can make some points about it. First of all, I've been joking throughout this season that what they were in search of was the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. And it's an allusion, of course, to Douglas Adams and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy radio series, books, and movie, where they're looking for the ultimate question to life, the universe, and everything, and it turns out to be 42. Interestingly, it does here too. So I think that it's time that we sat down and had a talk about this. What it comes down to is that they really didn't have a good answer to this. They find the entity, and of course they go into it, and of course Burnham has the clue as to how to solve the final way of getting into it. Maul, of course, goes in there as well and charges ahead. There are fight scenes. They finally end up in a place full of begonias. And in this place full of begonias is where things start actually happening. Meanwhile, on the outside, we have Discovery and the Breen, and a very interesting effect on whether you can do something with the spore drive to cause another ship to jump way out of the way. And it's an interesting way that they worked that out, and very quickly at that. Then we have the philosophy part of it. That's where I think it kind of falls short. They really don't know what to say once they've gotten there. Yes, they have found the secret to all creation, but is it a good idea to just take it to the Federation? Is it a good idea to let anybody have it? Is it a good idea to have it in the person of one individual? And while Burnham was basically the chosen one to have found this, what she does with it afterwards is something that is a big decision to make, and a little bit surprising that once she makes this decision that everybody just kind of goes along with it. In fact, there was probably more discussion on the ship than there was at Starfleet. So what we have is a happy ending, and we see everybody, and there's a lot of hugging, and there's, of course, Saru's wedding, and then they do a jump of 30 years from now where we have a retired Burnham and a nice log cabin that looks kind of like the Rikers in Picard. That's when they start to try to tie together the loose ends, and they get some of them. They get that short treks thing where the traveler happens himself upon an abandoned Discovery, and they set that up to where that can happen. And then there's the just mentioning where everybody is. And with that, that's kind of it. It was obviously a hastily written ending. And while it has some sentimental points to it, it doesn't make much of a story. And in fact, the whole last episode didn't make much of a story because they basically set up the Star Trek V scenario. Let's go find God. And once you get there, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to find out that it's something different? Are you going to find out that it's what you expect, but then you still don't know what to do with it? And I think that's kind of why the answer to everything is 42. It had some good episodes in this season and some so-so episodes. It's a shame that it didn't go out on something bigger, but perhaps that's too much to ask for. especially in this series. There's a limitation to what Michelle Paradise can write, and there's a lot of interpersonal stuff in it that she tends to like to put in, and then throw in some gratuitous action scenes, and there you have it. Go to the next project. And in the old days of series television, I suppose that would be okay. But in this day of where you spend 2 years putting together 10 episodes, I would expect it more. So I'd like to know what you think about it. Please put it in the comments below. And remind you that we will be reviewing the next episode of Doctor Who on Monday. We hope you'll be around for that. But until then, don't go far.